A very, very warm good evening. This is Arunfoot Chaudhary. It is October the 10th, 2025. It's a Friday. It's the day after India's 1-1 draw against Singapore. I called it a lucky escape. Dismal performance from us. We talk about the under-23s and under-17s as well. Sorry, I'm half an hour late. Due to work commitments. Stuck on the road in traffic here in Germany, happens as well on the highway. And let's talk about those things. But before that, those of you who are watching now or maybe later on deferred, do leave a like behind, share it with other people. And if you haven't, do subscribe to the channel. Help me grow the community. And thanks a lot for all your support. We cracked the 3,000 mark a couple of days ago. And yesterday, for the first time in a watch along, I had more than 11,000 views. So thanks a lot for that. So we are growing, and that's good. People are listening. I thank you for that. And 3,017 is the current number. So thanks for that as well. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. What do you have to say about today's India's U23 performance in Indonesia under 23? I believe Indonesia are preparing for Southeast Asian Games where they won last time. Indonesian fans were expecting to beat us. XYZ, I didn't see the match. I was just following it. And therefore, I have nothing so far to say. Let me watch a little bit of highlights and maybe in the next couple of days we can have a conversation. But again, to me is that you guys get excited from these friendly results, from these, again, you know, it's like those who got excited by our results in the CAF Nations Cup. Yeah, I guess more even the CAF nations didn't take it seriously. You know, the SAF nations take the SAF championship more seriously than the CAF Nations Cup. We saw that yesterday, right? We saw that yesterday. Therefore, again, under 17s beating China 1-0. I don't even know who the Chinese played. Was it the best team? Did they put the B team on? Did they put a C team on? I have no clue. So therefore, for me, the thing that counts are the qualifiers. The under 23s, for their standards, did very, very well, you know, and my concern is when I talk to people from the Middle East and they talk about the under 23 level, and this is something which I've realized is, again, did McCarthan play yesterday in the senior national team as someone who was playing also in a similar position for the under 23s? Was he yesterday capable of playing in that position? And he's one of the better ones, right? So reality check, guys, reality check. I see too many people getting carried away with the result here, with the result there, and there is no systematic development. It's a systematic failure, right? And this is something, at the end of the day, we need to get results at all levels, men's, women's, boys, girls, at all levels. Friendlies are important. But my question would be, what is the reality? And the reality is Singapore won, India won in a game where we need to thank the football gods that Singapore did that mistake, that Rahim Ali was alert and showed his goal scoring skills. And we got away with a 1-1 in the match. We should have lost 4-0 and we would have been out of the qualifiers. Right? Hi, Matt. Good to see you back. Very disappointed with our game yesterday. We cannot go on playing like this. We will not win any matches like this, as bad as the selections were. I felt had not offered us anything tactically. The selections were made by Khalid Jamil. It was not made by you, by me, or by someone else, or by a technical committee. The players that he has selected, the system that he has chosen, to me, is very, very clear that he does not have it in him to be in that position because he has one system. Defensive. Bang it forward and hope someone does something with it. Every time his teams have performed, there were at least 2 or 3 individuals who were outstanding to make that possible, or someone had an exceptional season. Last season of Jamshedpur FC, I saw it live in Delhi. Punjab FC was Jamshedpur FC. It was Javi Hernandez, alertness, cleverness, smartness, class as a player, that got them the goals, and Stephen Eze at the back. Stephen Eze out, 2 matches, 10 goals conceded. So that's the thing. That is the reality. Also, Suhail Bhatt, I know now we have questioned his ability, but the boy has a knack for goals, good pressing, and what a strong finish, good technique for first goal. Also for the second goal, good physicality to push Indonesian player off the ball and take a shot directly. Also good technique in that shot, good power. What do you think about his future? XYZ, at the moment, he is not up to that mark. I've seen him this year 3 times, I think, in the CFL. Now, if you say today he was able to push an Indonesia under-23 player to the side and do what he did, we saw also in the one and the other match towards the end of last season in Super Cup what kind of goals he can score. Yes, there is something. But I've also seen him in the CFL, and there he's not getting past a 42-year-old. Then I know the reality of Suhail Bhatt, right? If you ask me, Suhail Bhatt or Rahim Ali, I would go with the Rahim Ali because I've seen him over the last decade. I saw him 10 years ago as a 15-year-old in that under-17 World Cup squad here in Germany. So I've seen something in him, right? My problem is that there are players who are already hitting the ceiling. I'm not even going to get into the discussion, is our under-23, under-23s, which I found funny because we were looking at others and say, oh, you know what, the Bahrainis, the Qataris have overage players. I'm not even going to get, is our under-23 and under-23 or is it under-25 or is it even under-27 or under-28? Most probably that's more likely, right? So where is then the opportunity of the development, the next step? So this is something which needs to be understood. And therefore, if he does better, I would be the first person to say, if Suhail Bhatt can be a better striker and can take the place of XYZ in the national team, I'd say I was wrong. And I would love to be wrong. Right? I would love to be wrong for once. More often than not, I have been right in what I've said. In a lot of things, I would be rather wrong, and I would be happy to say XYZ player has actually outperformed from what we thought. It is rather the players that I have been defending over the years who then at some stage actually step up. I spoke about Rahul Beke. I always said Rahul Beke is someone dependent. I had the discussion many years back at East Bengal when they released him. I said that guy has something. I felt at the time that there is something in this player. Rahim Ali, I've said it, I stick to it. Yesterday we saw the alertness, the class, the cleverness, but again, who's going to give him the chance and the opportunity to play as a number 9? Where? Who? Right? Those are the questions that need to be asked. Angry Birds, here I am. Sorry, a little later than intended, but yes, I'm here. Do you think Suhail Bhatt should move out and go to a club where it's about his development? Renil, there are 2 sides to the story. One thing, he is improved. Why? Because he's training with the Jay McLaren, he's training with the Jason Cummings, he's training with the Dimi Petratos, right? So that training is good. On the other side, he needs match time. Every minute is good, right? So the ideal combination is, hey, you get to train with those guys and you get your minutes as well. But that in the Mohun Bagan setup for a young Indian striker is close to impossible. Yeah, that's the honest. Or you have to move out to the wings. Do you think this under-20 should stay for more than 1 year for development? Renal, my question, again, I asked this nasty question, right? But it is a question that I have to ask. Is this team under 23? Right? I have to ask that question, right? And normally we say that your development phase is from 16 to 22, right? A lot of the players are over that age, right? So is there a next step of development in the players in the system? Because also the reality is we have a lot of players who seem to develop at 26, 27, 28. So if you ask me to keep them together for another year, the question would be, I should actually now have an under 21 preparing for the next cycle of the AFC under 23 Asian Cup qualifiers. So the reality is, what do I do? Who do I work on? Who I develop? But the reality is also, which I think most people don't want to realize, that under 23 level is not senior level. If our under 23s yesterday played Singapore, they would have been thrashed 5-6-0, hands down. On a good day. On a bad day, it would have gone to double digits. That is the difference between the Singapore team and ours. And our team should have lost 3-4-0 yesterday. But hey, and this is, Zoravar, you're 100% right. 99.9% Indian football fans are a bunch of clowns. A fluke win against Indonesia, and these jokers are claiming the under 23 players are better than the senior team. And that's the reality. This is what we've been saying. At least on this channel, we've been having honest conversations on things where I can say, you know what, guys, we are in a situation, if we want to talk about what is happening, what is not happening, we need more, right? This is not going to be enough. But the exposure that they're getting, that's good, right? Under Naushad Musa, who is an experienced coach at this transitional level of, say, under 18s, under 19s to the senior team, reserve team, he is a good one. Players like McCarthan have gone through his hands. So therefore, him being under 23 coach is a wise move by the AIFF, is a good move by the AIFF. To have Bibiano as under 17, also good. But the question to me is, can I have someone to guide these guys and take it to the next level? That is my problem, that I would say, listen, AIFF, bring in a good technical director who's also who's worked with teams, who can work on and has experience at youth level, who can work with the under 17 coach and the team, with the under 20s and the under 23s. That would be important. Clearly, Zoravar, fans are tired. Look around SAF. Everyone is better than India. What are we playing football for? What's the future of football in this country? Should fans not be tired? XYZ, and that's the problem. If you're tired, doesn't mean that you celebrate something which is not to celebrate, because next time around you'll be even feeling worse. This is the point. Zoravar has it. No. And the point is that. And it is a friendly. At the end of the day, it's a friendly. Right? Our biggest problem of the last 3-4 years has been that Indian teams have rarely been exposed to the level that they could have been exposed. We rarely lose by 3, 4, 5, 6 goals, right? Which used to happen regularly in the past. And we saw yesterday, Singapore finishing or getting the ball into the final third is a disaster. But look at, for example, Bangladesh and Hong Kong. I mean, I watched the 10 minutes highlights. Look at the energy in that game. Just look at that 10-minute clip of Bangladesh versus Hong Kong, what those two teams threw into the game. And look how clueless we were. Right? That is the concern. Right? That is the problem. Hi, Rudra. Angry Birds says, it's no, that wasn't a fluke. They were composed in defense and dominated the game well. Again, Angry Birds, this is, did you watch Indonesia versus Saudi? And look at that team and look at this. This is not Indonesia's future. Indonesia's future is here in Europe, right? So therefore, we have to look at the realities of who's playing whom, who's playing where, and who's playing how, because otherwise, these kind of matches will crop up. We will celebrate, and then afterwards, when we get to and to me, the qualifiers count. So for me, that is the main thing, which is, if we're not going to qualify for it, it's a problem, right? And I'm looking at the Indonesia squad. They've got one guy, yeah, but he's not even playing, who's in the lower levels of the Netherlands. He's not even at a top level. Yeah. So this Indonesia is a real Indonesian team, right? So if I go back to Indonesia 2-3 years ago, an Indonesian league-based local player team, we should be beating them 2-3-0 on any day. If I take that into account, and we're beating such a team, then a 2-1 is actually not a good result. So you have to put things into context. Don't look at standalone, and this is not a qualifier. I always said India, Iraq 2-2 in the King's Cup has no value. Look at the way Iraq played that game in 2023 and look at them a few months later in the AFC Asian Cup, how Iraq played. And look at how we played. You know? India under 3 played well, but questions more players will warm bench and Khalid will not pick them. Rudro, yeah, but again, there is who's to pick? Who's to pick where? How? Right? That is the point. You know? And yeah, that is okay. So I woke up right now in India under 23 defeated Indonesia U20. You know what? Perhaps this batch is special. No, it's not. I just try to explain what it is. Again, guys, come back to reality. Otherwise, it's very difficult to try and speak about things, because the second you start dreaming, you're gonna get disappointed. I want Indian teams to perform, and then we can start dreaming. This is the difference between the men's game and the women's game, right? The women's team has always had potential. I would have said the batch before this current one was actually better. They should have played the World Cup. They didn't. They couldn't get there, right? So therefore, yeah. Also, people acting as if Khalid did a crime not bringing U23. It's an Asian Cup, guys, where Khalid's tactics backfired and Sandesh got red card. No way near. U23 would have handled that pressure. Yeah. Aditya, they put one of the under-23s into their team. MacArthur Nixon, a talented player who played in a 6 and an 8 for the under-23s. As a 6 for the senior team, he's not good enough. Because Nikhil Prabhu, who was one of our best, with, I guess, Anwar Ali and Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, had to cover for him. He was running left, right, and center. Right? So therefore, we need to understand that senior level football is something else. Yes, see comments saying putting under 23 into senior team or under 23 aren't in a senior team. It will take a while. Let them play and until they play proper first team and then develop. Yeah, Renal, that's the point. It's the point, and the problem is most of these boys will not play regularly for their clubs, right? Because they, at the end of the day, and again we come back to that discussion, they will choose money over exposure, and that's their right. It's their right. They have to decide themselves. But in the long run, I guess looking at money now, do you then get something in the long run? I don't think so. So, yeah, very interesting to see. It's got to wish how he selected Rahim and he delivered. Yeah, Aditya, as I say, I feel sometimes there are football gods, and let's see. Bangladesh was Hong Kong. What a game by the absolute cinema. Very unlucky at the end, though. But at the end of the day, that's football. Swastik, if you see the influence that the origin players had on the Bangladesh game, if you see the origin players, the naturalized players had on the Hong Kong game, right? That is what was missing and is missing for us. I go back to something which I've been saying now for 24 years, players of origin will give you an addition of something which we don't have, right? So therefore, that is why I will say again and again and again, we need players of Indian origin. Yesterday, Khalid was too bad in formation. Angry Birds, he was bad with everything. Forget the formation. The players didn't know what to do. He did not give the players a game plan, right? That's the basic. What was the tactic? Get the ball, bang it out. If you see how many times did Mohammad Owais just whack the ball, how many times did Anwar or even Sandesh or Rahul Beke try to just clear the ball? There was no plan. It just get rid of the ball was the plan, right? So that's the thing. Today was best as India 17 and 23 won. Again, sort of nice, good, take it. But those are friendlies. It has no value. In the qualifiers, it counts. Can the under 17s win in the qualifiers? They have home advantage. That will be counting, right? So, hey, Ochut, very disappointed with yesterday's performance, but good news today with under 17, under 23. Yeah. I mean, Ochut, I said a few weeks ago that I thought one of the worst performances I've seen from an Indian team was against Afghanistan. Maybe the worst in regard to the setup and the play. And yesterday was worse, right? So one would have thought, a lot of players have worked now with Khalid. Some of them have even worked at club level with him. He brought in some players who will add you quality. There was nothing, right? If I take, for example, Sunil was trying up front. You saw multiple times that Sunil was pressing and the rest wasn't moving with him, right? It wasn't Farooq, it wasn't Chankle, it wasn't Liston. And then Sunil gave up and whenever there were one or two chances where someone could have played the ball to Sunil, the ball didn't get to Sunil. So therefore, these are small little things, if you want to look at things, which make it very complicated, right? So therefore, yesterday was very tough to watch, and I will watch it till the end, but yesterday was tough. And then talking to you guys, it makes it even tougher because on one side, you're watching the game. On the other side, we're discussing things, and it was bad. Look, I think if McCarthy wouldn't have man marked, he could have a good game. He tried to exactly do that in second half. Also, what was Tangri's job yesterday? I don't know if I don't know where was he man marking. I don't know, Aditya, what you saw. And did he play better in second half? Deepak Tangri's job was to hunt down the players, right? That is his job. Deepak Tangri hunts down the ball and tries to get it cleared. And Deepak Tangri was very lucky not to pick up a second yellow. He had a yellow, and then in the next 3 minutes, I think there were 2 fouls where they said, okay, right? So, but that's his game. Nothing more, nothing less to expect. The only positive thing for South Asia was Sri Lanka dominating, beating Turkmenistan. This show how this player and team could really win games. Punjab, exactly that's the point. Look at where Sri Lanka was. Sri Lanka was one of the worst teams in the world. Philippines was one of the worst teams in the world. They've got a certain standard now because of their aspirant players. Look at Bangladesh. Look at the hype. Forget, and I take Ochut's point to this. Bangladesh, not just Hamza, now they have Shomit Shom from Canada, played and scored. Sri Lanka defeats 59 places higher, Turkmenistan origin players. Look at how many players Bangladesh had, that young striker from Italy, then another player from the US. And look at the combination of Germans, English, Scandinavians in the Sri Lankan team. Saw recently an interview, Claudio Knamaknecht, playing at Dynamo Dresden, second Bundesliga, talking about things. And it's insane. It is insane. And therefore, it is something that, it is not something, again, a lot of people gave a lot of hype with the new national sports code or act, which is now, and nothing has happened, right? So therefore, for me, we are where we are, and something needs to happen. It's not about physicality; it's about technicality and skills. Goku, 100%, and it's we are very, very poor on technicality and skills and tactics as well. I, for example, yesterday loved the way that Nakamura played for Singapore. I don't know what you guys felt, but I love the way the positioning, the sense that the guy had, really stylish. But again, we made him most probably look better than he is, right? Because if he's going to play one of the biggies in Asia, he's not going to get that space, the opportunity to place the ball. That's the problem. India results in China match. Murali 4-0 loss in the first one, and they won the second one today 1-0. What an absolute horrible watch it was yesterday, but today at least some positive hope. Let's see. Exactly, Swastik. Take the positivity, but back of your mind, remember, these were just friendlies. I think in India, everyone wants to be wrong now, but that's not happening. Yeah, go, 100%. I would love to be wrong and say, listen, India team this, India team that, and I take my words back. I don't have a problem with that, right? But we've been proving, or someone or the other has been proving us and saying, we are of the level, So that's the thing. I agree. This was the same situation with Constant Era 2. JJ Chetri combo saved this job on many occasions. Yeah, but at least the time that I've been watching Indian football over the last 33 years. Yeah, 92 was the first time I watched the first live game of India. There's always been a striker around who was scoring. At the start it was Vijan, then Vijan, Baichung Bhutia, then Baichung alone, then Sunil came, Baichung Sunil, then Sunil took over, then again Robin Singh for a certain period of time, JJ for a certain period of time, and then Sunil on his own has carried us over the last 5-6 years, right? So that's how it is. But the point is, where is the next in line to take over? Not only as a number 9 or as a goal scorer, but also as an icon of Indian football. Who is that guy who's going to be standing there, right? Because when Baichung was on his downhill, but Baichung was the superstar, Sunil came up. And Sunil failed. Again, the point at the end of the day, Sunil failed in America. Sunil failed in Portugal. But that did not stop him. Sunil worked hard and yeah. So that's the thing. All right, unpopular opinion, but how about we start Rahim instead of Sunil? Now, before people call me out for my Odisha FC biasness, he gave his 100 and even scored a goal and bring Chetri in 16 minutes. Aditya, I don't think that would have been, my choice would have been, and I said that in my pre-match yesterday and watch it, I would have combined Sunil and Rahim Ali as my strike combo. I think Rahim Ali and Sunil Chetri might be a very, very interesting combination because then Rahim could drop, Sunil could stay up front, Sunil drops, Rahim stays up front. I think that would have been an interesting combination rather than Farooq Chaudhary, who was all over the place. And again, I don't know how he got away without getting any yellow cards. So therefore, yeah, Rahim Ali starting could be possible. 2 solid Aussies forwards, so getting chance over them is impossible. Yeah, 3 if you want to add Dean Petratos to that. At least I'm happy that Andre played football. Yeah, go. And again, let's be happy with that. Again, I see too many people are getting carried away. That is my only concern. Let's be realistic. Let's remember where we're coming from. Let's remember where we are, and that's the challenge, in my opinion. How can we get better, and how can we get to the next level? That's going to be the challenge for all the Indian football teams. I think these friendlies are just testing the AFC and qualifiers are important, right? They're not important. They are the ones which count. Do I know that if Indonesia played their best team today, or did Indonesia, let's say, play their B team? I don't know, right? Do you know that? Maybe they played their B team and they'll play their proper team in the next match, and then suddenly we lose 3-0. I don't know. Dada, we're not qualifying for AFC Asian Cup, damn sure, but what is the next thing AIFF must do to at least give a fight in 2030 qualifiers? Angry Birds, the problem is what I see is this thing that a lot of people say, you know what, we have to think in cycles. The reality in football is, in a country like India, a lot of things cannot be planned. You have to live with the material that is available to you. If you're going to say, listen, I'm going to work on these boys 5 years and develop them, I take the example of the under-17 World Cup squad. I remember a lot of people said, after those matches, and yes, they impressed in the World Cup, in my opinion. The Indian football team playing in a World Cup was a huge thing, is a huge thing, and the under-17s did okay, in my opinion. I think if Nicola Adam had been the coach, I think they would have done better, but again, that's my opinion. But how many of those boys have really stepped up? Those players that we thought who are going to be up there, right? Where is Dheeraj? For example, right? Apuya was not one of the best players, but has turned out to be one of the best players. Anwar Ali, respect. Suresh, respect. Where is Amarjeet? Where is pre-tournament, sadly got injured, Aman Chetri, right? Lovely striker. So, very difficult. So therefore, to plan long-term is very, very difficult. In my opinion, we have to live, in an Indian context, you have to live with the player material which is available. And if you're lucky, 1 or 2 players will come up and you think, okay, they now need to be, blooded in and you can try them. And that's the challenge I think that we have at the moment. Shaul Anwar, very underrated performance yesterday, in my opinion. A perfect time run and assist. He's the type of winger or forward we sadly wish listing was 10% of that. Swastik, you're talking about the goal, but I thought the problems he created for Mohamed Owais, as long as he was on the pitch, impressive, right? And even you're talking about Liston, even Changte could, if he could learn something, also his positioning sense, dropping back, standing high up, all these small little things, make it very, very interesting. And he was one of those players that I thought again, I liked on the pitch for Singapore, and yeah, it's for us to figure out that we have those kind of players as well. Overall, I was not impressed. Naushad Musa today's U20 defender, he did not try anything to improve from qualifiers, playing counter-attacking style with releasing players. Our team did not try to hold the ball, player on the box of opposition, there no combination playmaking. Namte as center was having Vibin Akash Chetri. Akshan Chetri in the 4-3-3. Namte was unable to control and hold the ball. Next month, Bangladesh, there are high chances that they will cook us. Look at the effect Hamza, Shamit, etc. have brought in teams. So we don't learn it, is what it is. See, if you think that in a few days, how many days did Naushad Musa have with the team? Do you think that he can play the ball around again? Kumar, sorry, where are you living? You mentioning that we should play the ball around. We are not capable of doing that. Right? Is a problem. Right? That is the problem, and that's not working. Right? Unless our youth league didn't become competitive, we lagged behind every time. If our system was there, even FA was corrupt, system was over there, we would easily be best 1,000 players from every state. Goku, we don't even need 1,000 players. Again, you are being over ambitious. If my problem is that we expect, that the AIFF does everything at all levels. And that's not happening. That's not working. For Indian football, that is not working. Right? Let's be honest about that we are not in a position, where we are. And therefore, for me, very, very difficult for me to see how we will improve. We need local solutions to our problems, right? And to me, it is very, 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 very critical, very, very important that we recognize and realize that at state level, at district level, at city level, I need to have strong competition, and the best teams move from that local, regional level to the national level. If I have to get the AIFF to organize the youth leagues, then the system already has a problem and has a massive flaw. I need to, if I have strong youth leagues, I need to integrate them into my system. And I still don't know why. I've said this, I don't know how many times over the last decade. I don't know why. Goa has had a very strong youth league system, strong or not, but Kolkata has a certain level of system. Bangalore has developed quite a bit of a system. Yeah, Northeast, Manipur, Mizoram, even Shillong have it. You have to integrate it. After substitution of Namte, then women taking position, India tried somewhat hold the ball. I think Coach Musa has limited ideas. I might be wrong. Kumar, again, sorry, but how can you judge that he has limited ideas? With how much do you know Naushad Musa to have that opinion that he has limited ideas? Right? Watching a little bit of football here and there, sorry, you cannot be able to say that. Right? This is disrespectful also. Sorry, so there was a system, yeah. Today's second half was not good, says Utkarsh. Coaches should trust and play more Indian centre forwards in ISL, otherwise there would not be any more Indian players willing to pick a position as centre forward in the coming generations. Sarath, it is easy to say, but my point will always be is if I have a coach in the Indian Super League, I will tell him, your job is to win. And the coach knows his job is to win. So will you say, oh, you know what, in the interest of Indian football and Indian football development, I will play an Indian striker. He will not. He will, most 99% will play the best 11, and that will then not contain an Indian striker. What do you think this is level of current national team? They're not of the level of the national team. If you tell me that Khalid had a look, Khalid will have spoken to Naushad as well, and then he says, you know what, I don't think you guys are my level and you can play my football, and he picks 2-3 boys. Yeah. So no, the under 23s are not a level. Last minute winner for Hong Kong. Yeah, Raj, I mean, I saw the highlights. That those 10 minutes, that's what football is about, right? Let's see. I don't see a score from open play under Khalid because it's just not possible the way we are playing under him. It needs some miracle from a player to drill past 4 or 5 players and score. Yeah, Maras again. We are going nowhere with this style. You can't just run on set pieces every single time and score from it. Attackers are not getting any support. Players like Becky McCarthy playing out of position, etc. Says see. We will be sweeping the floor in SAF by SAF teams. Kumar, that's sadly a danger. When some players of U17 had decent performances, why not promote the senior teams again? They will return to football clubs. More benches, young guns should get more game time to improve. Yeah, but SB Sports Extremes, senior teams, again, what I say, a club coach will decide what he thinks is the best for his club, right? Most coaches will not think what is best for Indian football. So that is one of the challenges that these coaches have, right? To decide who do I play, why do I play him, where do I play him, and that's a challenge. It's not an easy decision. So therefore, for me, let these boys play, and the under 17s are far, far away from senior level football. This is Stephen coming back, no idea at this moment. I wouldn't. I can't count it out, and I don't know if it's going to happen. It's about mentality as well. India was happy to draw in a must-win match. That to a lucky goal, hunger to win is not there. Yeah, no one. But the point is that it has to come from the coach, right? The coach has to give me the tools to be able to play, and if the coach tells you, drop deep, control, play like that, it's not going to work. Those days are near when senior men will lose against Sri Lanka, Bangladesh regularly, says Uchut. I hope not, but that is a real danger. Have you seen the Kilna interview yesterday with Sunil? One of them asked him that the league is not happening, it's affecting the performance. He said that it will happen soon. It's October now. Interesting. Swastik, what is he supposed to say? Again, you guys interpret things where, what is he going to say? And say, oh, you know what? It's terrible. It's not working. Oh, we hope that. Listen. Yeah. There's a way of saying things, and if one would know Sunil and read between the lines, then you know that Sunil is very, very worried about this fact. Didn't he say a couple of months back, you know what? I have actually had a, leisure summer, a lot of cheat days. Yeah. If U23 played the in the Asian Cup, it's a merit, but these friendlies are for trying outright. Yes, it is, Renan. Please stop Mohammed Uwais. He's not international material, says Vicky Lal. Yeah, wouldn't agree. Couldn't agree more with you. That will not be getting to get good Indian strikers unless the clubs reserve league along the ISL I-League match day and next day morning reserve league match on the same venue. Manosh, it sounds very easy. I remember that was a discussion in 2014 about how do we structure the whole thing. And there was this, again, I come from a German point where I say, our reserve teams need to be integrated into the club system. Then the English people say, oh, you know what, create a reserve team league. The point is, this idea of yours makes sense. But every decision that is going to be taken in the next weeks, months, will be decisions, I have to say, on finance. It will be a question of money if A, B, C, D will be done or not, And therefore, Let's wait and see. First question is, will a league happen? Yes or no? We don't know. Some seniors have taken place in national team, like government jobs. Selection of work is still doubtful. We can't explore the possibility of young guns and promote to see. No, we can't. They're not good enough. You will be the first one who says, if we lose 6-0 against, if we lost 6-0 against, oh, why are we playing this? We need to bring the older players back. The national team is not a testing ground. We need to play potentially the best players who are available and the right players. This is the challenge. And that is where I challenge Khalid and say, Khalid, you have no understanding. Even the same thing with Manolo. This is one thing that I learned, especially from Bob Houghton, but also under Stephen Constantine. When you travel with them, work with them, you need to know your players, and this is the situation, right? So what am I going to do? What happened to Parthiv? Also, like many other players, hyped, and he's not lived up to the hype. He even didn't play good for the under-23s. Let the university more games for at least 2-3 years before even considering for senior team. Yeah, Zoravar, but my point is, if I want to prepare for the next cycle of the under-23 Asian Cup, I now need to install an under-21, which next year is an under-22, and then in 2 years is an under-23. This under-23, to give an exposure, what am I training for? Is this now exposure for Asian Games? Oh, sorry, we're not playing Asian Games next year, right? I would rather send that team as an under-22 next year to the Asian Games. There needs to be a plan behind this. This is because the fans have created a hype again, like 2 years ago around the Asian Games. Because fans have created a hype around the under-23s, you know what? Let's keep this together and let's distract from all the happenings in the AIFF. Right? So that's the problem. So, first Lord Rahul and Lord Rahim now, who will be the next big lord of Indian football. Let's see. So, the point is, if someone has not been successful in Indian football, does not mean that the player is not good. Simple point. And there are a lot of players who are trying to do something. How did we win against China? Babalu's animation, I have no clue. 2 goals scored by Bangladesh, whoever does prepare, looks like it's finally working for them. So therefore, it will take time, right? It is something which will take time. But if I see the way Hamza is playing for that nation, if you see, again, because the camera is panning on him, right? When the goals are scored, you see his reaction. The guy wants to play for Bangladesh. Shomit Shom took it on him, traveled 28 hours to play for Bangladesh. This is what I call commitment, right? Pakistan against Afghanistan was a diaspora game, right? And those guys are traveling in much worse conditions than Indian footballers would ever do. Rava calls it fluke. High Blue, good 2 goals from Sohail, but let him be in under. Don't force him in senior team, which will only hurt his career as he needs to go to I-League. Blue, wow, you even hard, huh? Tough. So, yeah, it is something that which needs to be worked on, right? To me, the point at the end of the day is, where are we? What can we do? What needs to be done? And it's a very very delicate balance, and therefore very interesting to see, right? So to me, it will be very interesting to see. So Dhruv Alva, Bijay Chetri, and Amandeep Singh, please owner reserve left back join Mumbai City. So yeah, Mumbai City had to replace players. Mehtab Singh is gone. I'm interested to see the development in Bijay Chetri from being a non-starter at Chennai FC to spending time now in Uruguay, playing a little bit in Uruguay in the second tier. Very interested to see if he's evolved and developed as a player. Amandeep, gives you an option. At least you have someone on the bench, and Rubalbaya and all the other young players who've been given a chance by Mumbai City will be interesting to see. News: all staff of IPL team Lucknow have been disbanded. Okay. Okay, interesting. Apuya Bose called up thoughts. Options needed, no? Khalid has seen at least, so let's wait and see. I mean, there's no question to me that Apuya needs to start, and if Subhashish Bose is just a little bit decent, he's starting over Mohammad Uwais. Those Indian football fans who are hyping this Gluck 1-0 win against China will fall in the same category as those hyping Android regime. Yeah, Zorawa, sadly. One of the former LSG media staff was covering simple matches today. Okay. I think we need to talk about Sandesh, the way he played yesterday. I think Baker should have taken the centre-back role. Perhaps it was a bad day, but so was for everyone. Aditya, you said it. The second part is very important. Someone like a Sandesh Jingan has done so much for us over the years. And Sandesh was vital for us also in the CAFA Nations Cup originally. It was a bad day. And sadly, you can't say anything because both those cards were valid. They were legit. And therefore, yeah. But I agree with you also that Rahul Beke was a better centre-back once Sandesh was no longer there. And that is something which should get the coaches worried. Now the AIFF and Kalyan Chaubey said tendering process will be completed by October 14th. Till now, tenders not released, but AIFF promised they will commence the league by December. Kumar, again, the tender process timeline was not given by AIFF by Kalyan Chaubey. The tender process timeline was given by the Supreme Court, and that was the 15th of October. We're on the 10th, so the tender process is not going to hold. And Aditya, it's easy actually. No one is taking the tender again, and that is the point that they send out feelers, and they know what the situation is. Is there any competitions upcoming in your future before this U20 gets over the edge? No, they're already over age. The new season has started, so they're out. Javier Cabira is legit, the Spanish version of Eric Ten Hag, says Swastik. I think we should have sacrificed the Asian Cup and would have had brought Peter Segat. Aditya. Yeah. Let's not even get into that coach discussion. It's now, please stop. It's totally okay if someone wants to be happy with these results because we don't even get to see anything positive nowadays, and these are the little positives to celebrate. In other words, celebrate. Take it. But again, I live in the real world, so I'm not. Again, for me, the match from the senior team was so bad that I'm not even in a position to celebrate a performance from the under 23s or under 17s because I know these are friendlies. The qualifiers count, and India had a chance in the under 23 qualifiers. They didn't take it, right? And everyone would blame the referee. We have to blame ourselves. It's like yesterday, Khalid did exactly what Naushad Musa did. You had a player on a card in a critical position, and you didn't take him off. Sometimes you have to do that if you like it or not. Because Sandesh, as Aditya said, Sandesh was not as good as he can be. And we saw that yesterday. Most of them are U19, just for players over 20 on passport, right? Or in reality. Angry words. It's not an under 19 team. Just look at the players, right? Do you think the performance would have been better if the league hadn't been delayed? Sarath, I think yes and no, because I think there are two sides of the thing. I think the players could have been a little better here and there, yes. But the problem is if your head coach can't give you the tools and gives you a system, and it's very difficult to say. But to me, it is a combination of multiple factors. But I think that the players in training would have been surely much better. But yeah, we are where we are. Look, I do not like what Khalid did tactically, whatever. However, we have to give him time. We have to give time to somebody because we cannot keep changing coaches. Like get Khalid a year, then it may be better. Aditya, I don't know which land. Again, I'm not going to call it La La Land. This is even worse than, again, give time. No, Khalid Jamil will do what he's done. And again, it should have been known what Khalid Jamil will do. anyone who knows and understands a little bit of the Indian national team and the setup and all that would change things, would change certain things, but would not change the things the way that these guys are doing it, right? So therefore, this is not work. It was bound to work this way, and if you think that it will get better, it will not. It will get worse, right? We will talk about, oh, you know what, he's favoring players. There's nepotism, no idea of tactics. Players are not fit. I've heard now players are complaining about the coach, right? And I know that players, as they have the question, do you really want to appoint Khalid Jamil? So where are we? One thing everyone should agree, if Bangladesh played like yesterday and we played like yesterday in Bangladesh, we're in trouble, might finish fourth if that happens. Can't say anything else. No, we were pathetic. And Bangladesh and Hong Kong both impressed me. That was a real game. Raheem has potential. Whatever he played, he may have missed a lot of chances, but always reached those key positions. Very few players could. Palash, yes, and maybe that's why it was more frustrating. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Palash. For me, these are the kind of players you need, and yeah. Indian football fans seem to like to live in La La Land. Okay, yeah, Zoravar. We do guys want to realize that in club level, you want your best players playing for your team. If you want to do a player playing with the reserve team or youth teams, a player to have talent who get them into the first team in India. A player perform good, scored a couple of goals and stayed to play for others, promote him first team. From there, that starts why every club have. Foreign players, we fans want to understand, like, our players that don't have the quality to replace a starting 11 foreign player, like they can't replace a foreign player. Why do clubs sign a defensive midfielder when we're a player who can clubs sign 2-3 foreign for a team player? Because we don't have quality player for that. Quality player we want to work in the youth setup, unless you want to produce players who have the capability to replace these foreign players from the position. Okay. Just summing up, your problem is, where you're right, you come up youth leagues via reserve team or maybe even smaller teams, I League 2, and then work your way up. The problem at the end of the day is, how do you get that exposure and how do you get better? Sunil Chetri, for example, had to fight for his place. No one gave Sunil a place in any of the teams that he played for. So therefore, that is the challenge at the end of the day that we have to face. And for me, that's the main thing, right? Players need to perform. As per F Sports, was of joint national team camp in Goa. Yes, RRC. That's what's said by Blue a little earlier. Kochi Stadium going through massive renovations worth around 70 crore, new floodlights, seats, dressing room facilities, etc. for Argentina for complete 30 days before the game. And Bablu's animation, you know what? Which is great because the Blasters will benefit if whatever happens. But actually, you know what? The bigger problem is the structure of the stadium. I remember 2017, there was a FIFA audit which said, you know what? It needs to be rebuilt. Actually, needs to be knocked down. So that is the problem of how in India you're spending 70 crores where you should be spending 250 and sort out the stadium for once and for all. But they're not going to do it. Will new players be called for Tuesday's game? Ochut, as just said by RRC game and earlier by Blue, Apuya, Ralte and Shubhashish Bose have been called to Goa. Have we got anything but all this OCI period? Those people don't do anything, but at least we can be happy with the results, right? At least for a day. Yeah, but again, I'm not happy with this. If after seeing yesterday and knowing the quality of what is coming after that, I can't be happy. As usual, giving past with no idea for future, says Aditya. I don't know, like fans expect something from Khalid when the man playing style for those clubs is managed as a single strategy. Yeah. How does Khalid even show his face to players? I mean, he's completely clueless. And I would love to be in the Indian dressing room at the moment and follow some of these conversations. Manu's main reason of failure in national team was due to no international football. The fools in ever made the same mistake against the job to Khalid, who also has no international football experience. Yeah. Very well said. I think we should start staying present. We're going past or future toward reality, says Blue. Rahul, do you have any hopes on AFC Asian Cup qualifiers? I made decision After seeing Kafa games, there is no chance to qualify for AFC Asian Cup 2027. Khalid Jamil, world-class tactics. Kumar, I again go back to what I've said in the past. The second Khalid Jamil was appointed, my head said no chance. And so, and again, yesterday was a must win. And knowing that Khalid plays the way he plays, again, we threw it away yesterday, right? We didn't play to win, and that is where we are. That is where we're stuck, and it's disappointed to see the way it went, and but yeah, we're not getting anywhere, and that is my real concern. That if you think that the AFC Asian Cup is our sort of Indian Football World Cup, and we should make it every year, then we failed badly, right? And therefore, yeah. So I'm not sure where we're going with that. Hi, Jordan. Good to see you back. Season greetings as well. Yes, had a great Pujo, very busy Pujo. Tomorrow is, so to say, the last function for us. We'll have Loki Pujo in Cologne. So that ends, so to say, our Desi festive season, and then I'll slowly get into the sort of German festive season with Christmas and other things. But yeah, I had a good Pujo season, and very happy with what all we've achieved so far. And yeah, let's see. I, for once, am enjoying watching a lot of national team matches, be it seniors or juniors, which was very often years ago. All we need is to support harder. Support as much as you can, but also we need to look at it. OCIP have always been used as a lollipop. Many Indonesian descent players do contain Indian heritage too, through the Surinamese origin connection, but are going to reach them first over Indonesia. No. Angry Birds, we don't have Indonesia. Suriname and Indonesia is not the same thing. I don't know where you're getting that. The Surinamese one is West Indies, and the Indonesian ones are Dutch Indochina. Right? So those are on two sides. I don't know if there might be the one other player which has both sides of Surinamese and Indonesian heritage, but I've seen a lot of these Indonesians have Indonesian and European mix in them. Hong Kong game in Kochi, Hannibal, I don't think it's valid for AFC competition. I don't understand why reporter TV is spending this much amount, this earlier media that they want to show to people. If a massive number circulated around people, they will discuss it about a PR. Coco, I don't know. Jeffrey Percy tried to save the money for fusing by appointment of Khalid Jamil, says Kumar. There is Andre and Joshua Jeevan Badwal. Many probably could not think about as an origin, but our federation is exceptional. They don't think on time. Sorry to say. Yeah, but Angry Birds, it's not about them. We could have had Michael Chopra, others in their prime. We could have had, if we look at Hamza Chaudhary, we had better players than Hamza Chaudhary in the past. But in all these, I think we are not focusing on women's game, who would surely do better than the men's at the international level. Yes, but the point is that as sad as it might sound, and as unhappy the women will be when I say this, but the men's game in India is funding Indian football, right? I also feel several of the girls can play in foreign leagues, but they're coming back, right? Jyoti has come back and joined East Bengal. So again, why? Because she's going to earn more money in India than in Croatia. So the same problem that we've had in the men's game are now cropping into the women's game as well. So yeah, that's it. The intent and hunger is not there for Indian players, and our players don't have the quality also. That combination is deadly, right? And so let's see. So Nobel Peace Prize is announced. It was funny to see certain someone has proposed a Nobel Peace Prize for Supreme Court to break us into pieces. Ooh, that's if you have understood, so so therefore, yeah, I'm I am, it's good. It's a good pun, but to me, the problem is that I'm not even in a verbal in a mental mood to get into these fun discussions, because the things are the way they are at the moment, and that is very, very difficult. So yeah, how did we get against Argentina? Did they field the C team after? But Brundle, I don't know who China fielded, so I can't. Again, I didn't see it. I didn't know nothing. Again, no cinema at Indian individual workers, but that's most from UP, Bihar, Nanchangchur. So yeah, many of are there in Netherlands. Angry Birds, but Suriname origin is not the focus of Indonesia. No? The ones that they're focusing on is a lot of these Indonesian links with the players, direct links. Those people are Bhojpuri descent. Ran Babur was one of them, was known for rumors. Again, rumors. Aaron Winter is one where I know that he has Indian origin. What happened to AIFF so-called Blue Cubs League? Is it finished with a sham like Vision 47? So now the Blue Cubs League or the grassroots baby leagues, whatever you want to call them, they were there. But I don't even know how many of them are running at the moment. So I don't know if it's a sham, a scam, whatever you want to call it. Do you see any remote chance for us in the remaining games now? I would like to, but then, Hong Kong needs to drop points. So we need to win 3 matches, right? If we want, we can get to 11 points, right? That's it. Hong Kong either draws 3 matches, doesn't win anyone, which again doesn't work because again they play against us, so they will lose at least 1. So if they win 1 and lose 2, okay, works. But difficult to see. I'm interested to see Hong Kong against Bangladesh because that was great from both sides. But is Bangladesh in a position to do that again? Right? And I have my doubts. Yeah. Those Indonesian workers later settled down in Netherlands and now consider 2% of Netherlands population. Okay. Forget Asian Cup adopt and for we win upcoming SAF Cups as we're given strong Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. So Rabur, you have a point. So for me, it's a massive challenge. It's a massive, massive, massive challenge for us at the moment. And I don't know if we can achieve it or not, but very difficult in my opinion. Right, over an hour already, 1 hour and 4 minutes now. Quick reminder, if you are watching this, like the conversation, enjoying the conversation, 24 likes so far, thank you very much. 68 likes yesterday, over 11,300 views. Thanks a lot for the live watch along. I'll be doing one on Tuesday again. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, ask your questions, raise your points, be part of the conversation that we're having. We're at 3,017. So the next aim is moving towards 4,000. And for that to happen, I need your support. And thank you, as always, for that. And of course, watch the short videos. I did something today about India's game. Also, I did something in Bengali on Mohun Bagan and their fans. IIFF Shield, the ban situation, and then all of those things. So thanks as always. Another winning the 3 matches in streak for India is like mission impossible. Yeah, come on. I'm just saying what is theoretically, and to me, that's the challenge. I would like first as us to score from open play and then win matches. Or again, that's the that's the challenge at the moment, and it will be interesting to see. Yeah. So that's for. Yeah. Gianni Reinders is of Indonesian origin. Yes, Angry Birds. They tried to get him, and he is Indonesian or he's Indonesian origin. He's not Surinamese, right? His mom is from Malacca. Sri Lanka really grown up, and I think Bangladesh will follow their slow signs. We're going to 180 rank. I hope not blue, but it's possible. Stim 74 said that India should leave SAF Cup despite no longer even being the strongest SAF nation at the moment. Yeah, yeah, that is a fact. So SAF will be interesting. From now on, we will be dominated by Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. In Pakistan is possible. Yeah, it's possible, right? And for us, it's a question of how we're going to do this, no? And yeah, the next SAF Cup will not be a very friendly tournament towards India, I fear. Did you see Devashish and Shindra's interviews? Do they really think if they had won CFL and Durand Cup, the protesters will be happy like they are that ignorant? Blue, listen to the whole interview. They're saying that, what was it? A journalist doesn't want to go to a war zone. It made no sense what those guys were talking about. It shows you also that how that they live in their own little world, right? And they don't understand. They're defending something which is indefensible. If you had the guts, if you had the cojones, as they say in Spanish, you would have gone out there and said, you know what? It might have been due to the players, it might have been due to insurance, but we think we should have gone and played. That would have been taking a stand. But they won't, because they're not in a position to take a stand. They don't want to take a stand. This is Indian football's problems with these people who are involved at different levels. If we clear the AIFF, it is not the only thing that you need to change and clear, right? I hope for a prolonged FIFA ban. Only a 3-4 years ban can fix Indian football. So now, let's see. I don't even know what's going to happen on Sunday, because now the AIFF has been in the Supreme Court, but it looks like it's more about the state association guys trying to ensure their own future rather than looking at Indian football, which again is a joke. But hey, that's where we are these days. And so let's see what happens. It's the 10th, 30th of October, closing in, 20 days away. So let's wait and see what happens. Give me a master plan to kick Khalid out of national team. Hannibal, we just simply need to lose 3-4-0 against Singapore at home. I think then the chance of Khalid sticking in his position is in my opinion limited. In a heavy loss against Singapore at home in Goa, the AIFF will be forced into action. What I think, I don't know, I might be wrong, but that's my thought. Another will be walkover and sub for other teams in 10 years. Kumar, I don't bother what's going to happen 10 years. In 10 years we might even have OCIs playing for us. Who knows? Therefore, let's live in the here and now. What is happening in 5, 10, 20, 50 years? Nice thing to think about if you're planning things, if you're working on strategy. But at the moment, we have to look at what is happening. And let's see. I hope Mohun Bagan players will be ready to travel to Bangladesh. Rishabh, why should they not be ready to travel to Bangladesh? Sorry, don't get that. Is there something that I missed? They're supposed to travel, right? If I understood right, they're traveling to Bangladesh, right? So, if they get picked by Khalid, let's see what happens in Goa. I see a scenario where we have a repeat like against Afghanistan, where where in Afghanistan we drew away, and then at home, I don't know. And I saw quite a few media reports, headlines and all, and they were quite, the attacks were quite clear-cut and scathing on Khalid and the team. Yeah. So this is the Sunday's deadline for ban. No, Zorawa, the ban deadline is 30th of October. Sunday is a question of what the AIFF does itself in regard to the constitution, and then if that goes to if it goes to FIFA, then the constitution, then they have serious problems. But again, the state associations are more bothered about keeping their own post on the AIFF Exco than again. The problem in this whole fiasco is that people are wanting to stay, others want people to go out, get out, this, that, everything, but nobody's bothered really on what's happening with Indian football. That's the real problem. Another, the mistake done by Singapore is not scoring another goal, but after that they will be ready with all guns blazing on us in next match and go. Kumar, they tried, they couldn't score. That's the whole reason, right? They will, interim government of Bangladesh is safe enough for them. Rishabh, Hong Kong played a match over there. So why would it not be safe? Do you see us bring OCIPO if we fail to go for AFC Asian Cup? In other words, I don't think it's linked. I think this AIFF needs to go, and then maybe someone else will do work on this. My concern and this AIFF is just trying to stay in positions. No? They're selling you all the successes, CAFA Nations Cup, women's, this, that, everything. Right? There is a lot that needs to be done. Yeah. And with the right person in charge of the AIFF, the right person calling the shots in the AIFF, that person could then reach out to the government and work it out. So yeah, it's interesting to see. OCI is Government of India decision. Yes, it is, but again, with the right person at the AIFF, the right person in the sports ministry, things are possible, right? So yeah, that's the challenge. I don't have any hope in men's national team. All hope is our women's now. Yeah, let's hope. Yeah. I'm mentally prepared, bring it on, lost in Singapore and Bangladesh. It is sad that we've come this far. We come so far that someone like you is mentally prepared to think, you know what, we're going to get beaten by Singapore and Bangladesh. That's unthinkable of, but that is how far we've come, Even emoji couldn't convey sarcasm because I saw the emoji, but it wasn't a sarcastic, it was just a smiling emoji, right, Rishabh? Okay, got it. And the current reviews made clear that OCI people won't be provided any special treatment. However, you know what? They will, when the topic of Olympics crops up, that is going to be for the change for the government, right? Because even the IOC will tell them, is there any right person to lead AIFF, maybe in parallel universe? Oh, Angry Birds, there are certainly 2-3 people that come to my mind who I think could lead the AIFF and lead the AIFF in the right way, right? But again, those people need to be in position. And I'll be arrogant enough to say that I would be one of those. I think that I'm more competent than all of these guys sitting there together. But do I want it? No. Without the right people, without the right input, it doesn't make sense. Because you will just, waste your time and energy. Right? But the right people are there. Don't get me wrong. The right people are even today in the AIFF Exco. But they're there. They're not taking decision. Then FIFA ban, then FIFA unban, then new fresh election, 7-8 months, new regime, new coach. If we get a FIFA ban, we don't need to bother about playing, right? So that might not be a bad thing. I don't see anyone like right person. There is. I'm happy, at least in Parallel Universe, we are a success. Nice one, Goku. I'm also prepared. I was very much prepared since Afghanistan game. Yeah, that's also true. AIFF needs to work in state district association first only, then can they fix their mess. These associations have no interest in development but save their seats and position. Jordan, again, generalizing. I know enough states where people are trying to do stuff, doing things, but again, it is not even the states. It's on the coaches, on the players, it's the whole ecosystem, on the investors in academies and clubs and those who are running it. It is not simple. It is the system is a problem in India. The people in general are a problem in India. To be honest, I'm less surprised if we lose all three and winning all three. Blues, sadly, yeah. I would rather say not lose all three, but I'd say that we won't win any of the matches. ISL this season is done, says Kumar. Let's see. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. You know. Don't worry, Messi will visit India soon and Apim will claim India is Vishwaguru. Messi will praise Modi as well and Indians will celebrate it like winning FIFA World Cup. Yeah. The younger players have more intent than few senior players. I'm on. Yes, I'm over that point. I've argued it today. No, they're not. And this is something, with time, if you've ever worked with the Indian national team, you will understand that it looks maybe nice to see from the outside this, not everything, the players and this and that. But that intent factor, you know what? I see it more of players in and around their 30s. That is where the level is, and it's not there. You know, it's not there in the way, that it needs to be, and needs to be the way it should be, right? And that's a problem, and that was a problem. That is a problem, and Kerala Super League is well organized and well run. Hopefully, again, you're saying it well run. Hopefully. By the way, are you married, Goku? No, I'm not. Is Messi the crash course for striker coach the AIFF president was talking about? No, Jordan. It is about winning World Cup. Messi's next level. Huh? Be a GOAT, be a World Cup winner, win, and I feel intent is there, but gradually they lose it, be it over system or the environment. No, the intent is not there because you think there is intent there, right? There is intent also with the senior players. You might not see it, but again, it's much more difficult. So once they get their money, and yes, Rishabh is very, very right. Young players intend to bag that big fat paycheck, and then they're done. That is the real problem. If you ask Kalyan Chauba and his entourage, they will teach crash course how to be Ronaldo and Messi. Yeah, most probably how to be Ronaldo, Messi, Cruyff, Beckenbauer, Pele, Maradona, and all in one. My interest for Indian football went down in the last 2 years to the point I stopped caring if we win or lose. So, Ravar, I've said that, but I realized again yesterday that when the match was ongoing, as always, I want us to win, right? So the problem is I think all of us, when the match is on, we all want India to win. We want India to do well, but we aren't, and that's the problem. At the end of the day, that's the big problem at the moment, that we are nowhere near where we could be. Your favorite tennis player right now, for me, has to be Alcaraz, but also like Zverev a lot. Yeah, if you ask me, Alcaraz most probably will be my current favorite player. And if you ask me before that, or maybe all time, Roger Federer most probably, along with Boris Becker. Right, 1 hour, 20 minutes now nearly on this live. Quick reminder, like, share, and subscribe. 24 likes so far today. Thanks a lot. Or 28, sorry, just updated it. And we're still at 3,017 subscribers. So thanks a lot. Moved past the 3K yesterday, and thanks for that. Fantastic. Now the next aim has to be the 4K, and hope let's see. Hockey India League is struggling with one franchisee pulling out. Zava 3 have pulled out, not one. As far as I know, 3. And yes, shows the condition of other Indian sports. Another becoming sad of the Indian national team performance is casual, like winning. Basically, it's a norm. Okay. Did you forget or did you take any pledge like I will marry one Indian in World Cup? Sorry if I offend you. No, man. It's a personal decision. We have a coach who starts the game thinking I have to stop the opponent from scoring. If he gets lucky, he does often a goal. Some saves from in the last few minutes. He tries to stop goal again. Yeah, Blue, that's where we are. Sadly, FIFA ban is the best thing that can happen to us right now. And that's the sad part. So I think, as you correctly say, that's the sad reality of things that we, whatever we want to talk about, whatever we want to do, but the ban sadly looks like the best thing that can happen to us. And that is, when we are talking that way, we've already lost it, right? And that's the, sad challenge that I see that we are facing. And let's wait and see where we head. Right. Try to answer everything accordingly. Very disappointed with how we played. Overall, it was, So, when will the episode of full depression end? No idea, Kumar. I would hope yesterday rather than tomorrow, but we'll have to wait a little bit longer. But have you ever talked to Khalid? Yes, because I've not only talked to Khalid, I've been on the field with Khalid. We've trained in the early days of the national team. So I do know Khalid. That's why I say I think I'm in a position to have an opinion about the gentleman. Right. So that's that. Right. Try to answer everything today. Still disappointed, at least me. I think you guys as well. And welcome to the world of Indian football. As I say, still, if you can, do like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel. Watch my other videos. And hype videos, like videos. Again, I need all your support. Again, we're growing slowly, but we're growing, and that's good. Kumar, why Khalid did not want to change? Kumar, that's a question to ask him. I've never asked him. It's, someone has a system, way of working, and then they don't change. Don't you think Chankta performance have degraded this 2 years? No, I wouldn't say degraded. His peaks have become less. I would have said the season before there were some, but again, captain Mumbai City being the way it is, he's not evolved further. Zorava says gute Nacht or good night. I'll be now watching Germany versus Luxembourg in the FIFA World Cup qualifiers in 35 minutes. Let me quickly grab something to eat. And as I said, please like, share, and subscribe. Spread it to other people, especially the shorter videos. Hype them as well. And we can only hope that things move in the right direction. Not always easy, but the football gods weren't too brutal with us yesterday. And I'll catch you. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow, as I said, I'll be busy with Lakshmi Puja and try and catch you on Sunday. See you then. Good night.